Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's ACY Securities webinar. My name is Duncan Cooper. Tonight's webinar is live Forex market reviews, so let's get into that. Before we do, if everybody can read through the disclaimer. Okay, let's move along. So for those that might not know me, my name is Duncan Cooper. I'm the Senior Market Strategist and Trading Mentor here at ACY Securities. And I trade the Forex market full-time. Been trading for more than 15 years. Mentoring for more than 10. If you want to contact me, my email's there on screen. Duncan.cooper@acy.com. You can connect with me through the week at our website, acy.com, go to the Market News tab, or at our YouTube channel at ACY Australia. And as well, you can connect with me on my Linktree page. If you want to head over there, you'll get my links. If you want to get access to the chart layouts and templates I'm using for MT4 in the webinars, just contact Nathan.bray. His email's there on screen, and I'll put his details in the chat. MD, hello to you. There we go. All right, so first up, let's get into looking at just the news items coming out for the day, for the rest of the week. So 10:30 tonight, we have the unemployment claims. Now, job figures from the US last week were quite poor. So any further really negative figure here on unemployment claims, showing that unemployment claims are growing, wouldn't be very US dollar positive. So that can definitely drive the market today. And later tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. for Canada with the employment change and unemployment rate figures, okay? So just looking here, today we did have New Zealand inflation expectations, which were a little lower than previous. So New Zealand has maybe just has been moving up, has just put its brakes on at the moment. Right, nothing too much to commentate on that or anything there, other than just, 10:30 p.m. it could be very volatile when we get the unemployment claims from the US, so be aware of that. Let's get to the charts now. Yep, good evening to you. After, of course, the move down, it's a bit uncertain at the moment in my mind. I'm still, I'm looking at a number of pairs and thinking, well, are they going to go up or down? Of course, we've had a sell-off at the start of the week with the stock market moving down. And now the question is, especially on pairs to the yen, have we put in a bottom or are we going to move down further? And if you're not sure, you can just stand aside and wait until you have a bit more information to make, a more assured decision. So dollar index in front of me on the day chart. As I said on Tuesday, it was. We have a monthly range here from high to low. It's actually mixed because I actually draw it in. We actually have some form of a triangle pattern here at the moment. We have a higher top and lower bottom. I should say we have a higher bottom, lower top, which starts to become an area of indecision. Now, from low to high, drawing the fib across that range, and we pull back to the 79% level. That's often where price will get its support to move back up. And looking at that range on the day chart, you can see the 79% level. We come up to the 62 level. We've just come just slightly into this imbalance. I'm expecting we'll come back up to fill this imbalance. So that means the US dollar positivity. But this is looking, not too dissimilar to the stock market. Stock market's been moving down. It's trying to catch its breath. And this is trying to catch its breath. So is it going to be able to further move up? What we might see today, it's worth watching for, is we might have a day down and then false break the lower yesterday and come back up to, potentially put in a higher bottom here to move up. So it's worth watching to see do we have a day down but we can't hold the break of the day down? Because that could then mean we're maybe reversing back up. Because what we're having on the euro dollar, I'm pretty sure, might have to correct myself when I get there, but I'm pretty sure the euro dollar's had a day up today, whereas the dollar index can't have a day down because it's inverse. So, if this starts to move up, then maybe on the euro dollar, we've just had a day up and then we're going to move down. So just watching, what this is doing, trying to give me a clue on the other pairs. S&P 500 then. Just on the weekly chart, we've come into the 62.79% zone of this range. While I'm on the weekly chart, it's actually on the monthly chart. There's a monthly low to high here, down to 79% level. It's only a minor monthly low where we just had 1 month down. And we're kind of trapped between weekly support and resistance here at the moment. But notably, we've traded into the 62.79% area. And is this area going to be an area of support? Let's move that to the side. For a bottoming out process to move up. Now, if you look at the last 5 days, they're all negative. We had a day up yesterday, but we couldn't hold the gain. And then we continued to move down. In actual fact, if we move to the 4-hour chart, we came up to last week's low. So we broke last week's low on Monday. There was, on the 4-hour here, a little gap, which we came up to fill. And then once we filled that gap yesterday, we came back down and couldn't hold above last week's low. So not looking that positive. But if we start to hold it today, 51.93, which is the weekly support level, we could start to see a bottoming out process down here. So, if you wouldn't want to sell into this. I wouldn't like to sell into this area if I was trading. It's fine to be selling down from up here, like yesterday, back down from last week's low, and the 52.81 potential resistance. But now we're on support here from an intraday perspective. So it's not really where I'd like to sell. If this started to come down today and then bounce back up, you saw a rejection on there on the 4-hour chart as we get into the main stock market time frame. And a rejection down here would probably mean we're going to come back up to test the highs of yesterday and the day before. Okay. So I really, you need to focus on what is happening as the stocks start trading in the market in New York. Euro dollar. So the euro dollar, if we just go to the day chart, it is having a day up. Now, if you were with me yesterday in the webinar where we're going through the 100 pip trade entry, I did say that 109.48 was a level that, potentially you could be looking at to trade down, because this significant high, yes, we traded above it on Friday. What day were we on? Thursday, Wednesday, on Monday. As I said yesterday, I actually got short up here at 110.01. Then we withdrew back to that high, maybe closed fractionally above, but pretty much at the high. The next day, we broke to close below, and we haven't actually traded back at that price point since. So we may only today just come up to retest. We may have just failed fractionally short at 109.48. So that would be a great level to watch for reversal today. But as you can see, we're a bit trapped between this high and this high. And, the distance between those 2 points isn't very large. It's only, the range of yesterday was very small, and that's only like 30 pips. So suddenly we've had 2 massive days, and then suddenly now the range is getting down into maybe 50 pips for the day. All right, so there is an uptrend here on the 4-hour chart at the moment, but you can see the last candle rejected up here. So if I wanted to trade this today, I would be focusing on 109.48. Can we come up to that level? It's actually last month's high. Do we fall to that? I think we're going to be coming down to fill this imbalance over here to the downside. So my focus would be looking at a setup to get short to trade back into this area. All right, now at the moment, it is just putting a lower top in here on the 15. I don't like all this choppiness. I would first of all be a lot happier if price came up and hit a level that I like. And then what does price do after that? Because at the moment, this choppiness, yes, it is putting in a lower top here at the moment. You can see it's come down to kind of equal lows here. Come up to a lower top. But once more, it could come down to here and then, of course, come back up to these highs. So it's not necessarily where I'd like just to click in and sell. I'd be a lot happier trying to click in and sell up here somewhere if price could get up there. But of course, at the moment, it's not there. So we do have the US news coming out later in the day. So for me, I would be looking at last month's high. It's 109.48 up here. Whether or not it can get up there, I don't know. Or does it come back up to retest these intraday highs, these kind of equal highs? Do we get a third equal high up here? And then if it starts to fail up here, that's where I, would look to sell, not down back at these lows here. Okay, euro yen. Now all these yen pairs are looking very similar. On the monthly chart, they've come down to the 79% levels of the range, pretty much. So if you go to the monthly chart, the big question is support coming in here for a move back up, or is it a bounce? And I'm on the fence, because if we get more risk-off environment, we'll probably continue down. If you go on YouTube at the moment and you're looking at anything to do with trading, and all the scaremongers are coming out now saying it's like 1929, we're going to have a big collapse, blah blah blah. But I don't know if we're quite, it's too early days to understand whether we just had like a quick sharp correction on the stock markets, or is it going to be a longer term, deeper thing? It's too early to tell. So are we getting support, approximately hit the 79% level on these yen crosses? So on the day chart at the moment, trend is down. We had a very positive day up here from the 79% level. So I favor this moving up more than down, but I'm not seeing anything that I want to trade at the moment. What I can see is that, yes, this looks like a support area at 79% level. We were a fraction underneath it yesterday and came back above. So I would just be watching to see if we can sell off once more. Do we come down to the 79% level? So that's at 157.95. And then can we see it hold? So, for our charts, put in a little double top here. And there's a range here. So with that 79% level down there, you'll get another 79% level, almost at the same level here. So 158.17 down to 157.95. If we are bottoming out down here, that would be a great area to look for an opportunity to trade down here. Does this 79% area get tested? Does it start to hold? Can you see it start to turn around on a 50-minute chart and then make a decision? Do you want to get long? From a point of view of getting short, 162.26 is this area here on my weekly chart. So weekly chart low. Back to the 4 hour. Price was to come back up to that level. There's also last month's low just below it there. That could be a strong area of resistance. So whilst I'm maybe favoring that we might, come down and then go up, we could simply go up, yes, but then just get capped here. Because if we don't move through there, I would have to anticipate that maybe that's as far as we can go up, and then we may move down. So it's not easy going at the moment. I just think being so overextended down at 79% levels, if these levels start to get retested and hold, then we could have some form of correction back up the range in the short term. Because what may happen, over the next 3 to 4 weeks is this is the same for all these yen pairs. After this major sell-off, we could have a rally to put in a major lower top on the weekly chart. And then up here, we could be looking to structure the next wave down. All right. So that's why, I am kind of maybe looking down here for maybe the opportunity to get long if it can present, and depending what price does when it gets down there. So I'd like to be a lot more certain about the information I'm giving you, but I'm still waiting for some more candles to, start to prove the point. All right, euro pound, which, since we rejected on Monday, we've been hanging around this 86.02 level, which is a weekly high. This area here too. For me, it's a rally on the monthly chart here at the moment. If we trade above the high, monthly trend turns to potentially back to up. At the moment, it's lower top, lower bottom rally. So until we trade above this high, the trend is down and we're at the very expensive area of the range. So back to the daily. So at the moment, I'd probably wait another trading day here at the moment. It's too high to be a buyer up here. If you're going to be a buyer on the euro pound, you should be buying down here. This is premium, where buyers are taking profits and probably getting into shorts. Not showing you on the day chart that we're changing trend, but if we get a rejection candle up here today, then you're getting a signal that we're turning around. The 4-hour chart here is still holding a 4-hour uptrend just. There's maybe an area of resistance forming here for sure at these 3 highs. So you can just watch this on the 4-hour chart, and if we come up here again today, we've already had a bit of a rejection here, but if we come up to test yesterday's high here and reject, then at those 3 highs, it's probably a good selling level. So can you see it set up on a lower time frame that you like in that area to get short? If you're more bullish, because there's 2 sides of this, you want to look for a retracement. 62.79% retracement for another higher bottom to move up. You don't want to be buying at the top of that current impulsive move, because that's at the top where potentially now everybody's taking profits. All right. Pound dollar is trying to hold below 27.02. You can see this dashed line on my 50-minute chart is last week's low. It's been below it. So we're Thursday, Wednesday, been below it Tuesday. Try to get below it Wednesday, back above, back below, close below it Wednesday. We've been moving back up to hit it, and now we're back below it, and we're back below 2,700. So this could be the high of the day. It's a bit choppy in here, I know, but really any movements back up is last week's low to the 2,700 level. 127.06 is the level. So 12700 to 2006. That is if you're thinking that we're moving down. That's the area to look to try and sell down from. Just want to go to the day chart, because when I was discussing this yesterday, I did draw a fib from this low to high. And there's the question that are we maybe bottoming out here at the 79% retracement of this range to move back up? That's one side of the the market. Now, if that's the case, back to the 50-minute chart, you want to see a move up. This area becomes support. Now, we're not seeing that at the moment. We have been moving up, but then we completely flop back below. And we've put in a lower top. So we don't have that structure forming. So at the moment, that area isn't offering support. It did yesterday, but it's not today. So any positivity from the market trying to get long here yesterday is maybe being eroded, but there is the possibility that if we start to get some impulsive movements up, this could become support, but at the moment it's not offering that. For myself personally, as I said yesterday, I'm actually short from higher up, so my bias is to the downside because I'm short. I got short watching this area here. I got short just underneath this area here, 129.90. I think I got in 96. I'd have to look at my account to get the actual number, just under the 130 level. All right, so I'm hoping that we're going to break clearly 127 to break this low at 126.12 and move down the range. So at the moment on the day chart, we're most definitely holding a downtrend, lower tops and bottoms. And you can see yesterday we tried to get back above the level, this level, 127.02, and we closed below it. You can see today we've moved it above, below. So going to make a decision. Are you a buyer or a seller? If you're a seller, will it offer you another opportunity to get short up at 12700 to 06? All right, maybe you've already missed the boat, but you can still be watching to see if it just ticks up. Or of course, you could just sell. You just be selling and go, okay, I'm just prepared to sell and put my stop above here. Now, is this the high of the day? And are we now going to be breaking down through Wednesdays and Tuesdays lows to continue down? Now, as well, what you could be watching for on the pound is Tuesday's low. We could just be consolidating here, ready to try to move up. So Tuesday's low and potentially Wednesday's low. That actually might be Wednesday's low there. So this area in any event. Down here, so about 26.80 to about 26.72. If we come down into that area and we can't continue down through and we turn around, then you could be looking for a reversal back up from that area because that is support from the last 2 trading days lows. And if you can't move through, we may well bottom out and move back above that 79% level. So there's 2 sides to this market at the moment. There's definitely a battle here. You see all the consolidation on the 50-minute chart. There's a battle going on. Are we bottoming out or are we getting ready to break south? So all I can say is I'm short because of the pound has cut interest rates. The US hasn't yet. We may get further cuts from the pound side and not too many from the US side. So from an interest differential point of view, that favors a weaker pound dollar. So that's why I'm favoring the downside. All right, let's get into the pound. So just on the pound, I'm thinking we're over the next we're only 100 pips or less than 100 pips at the moment away from this low. So I think we're targeting 26.12 and maybe we're going to see a break of that. If we break that, then over the next month or 2, we could be coming down to target 122.99, the April low. But it all depends about what's going to be happening here at the moment. Pound yen. All right, so the monthly, same as the euro yen. We're at the 79% level, we're a bit closer to it than we are on the euro yen at the moment, but you can see we spiked below it. Monthly trend still remains up. We have a monthly high area here that we are willing to hold below at the moment though. So weekly trend's down. You can see yesterday, 2 days rally, the day before and yesterday, all got capped at that monthly high, 186.75. So that's clear resistance for the pair at the moment. You do not want to be buying anywhere close to there. And when you get there, if you're in a long position, you want to make sure you're risk free, because if you can't get above there, it's going back down. So today, this is what I was saying on the euro yen. If it can get back down to the 79% level, will it hold and then bounce back off? All right, that's what I'm looking for on the euro yen. That's happening on the pound yen to the 4-hour chart. All right, now this may well come back down to that 79% level once more. We have a little bit of a kind of uptrend range of sorts here. So 279% levels there. 184.53 down to 183.92. That would be an area I would just watch during the day. We've already been down to the highest point of that area. Would we come down and retest and hold again? Now, getting long it is against the bigger time frame, day chart flow at the moment. But folks breaking the 79% level, being seen on all the yen pairs, is maybe a bit of a hint that maybe we could go north. Although I'd want to be able to get a very tight entry if I was getting long, okay? And of course, on any of these yen pairs, on a day chart, if we close below the 79% level, say the day, then trying to trade up from the 79% level is off the cards. We're still going down. All right, Aussie yen. My 50-minute chart here. At the moment, we're very much struggling at the 96 level from an intraday perspective. So the monthly chart, like all the other yen pairs, there's a 79% level. We're a long way away from the 79% level. Primarily because I think this week there's been lots of talk, and the RBA head was, I think, grilled today as well. And somebody from the RBA yesterday was at the Senate, I think, testifying that we probably won't be cutting interest rates this year. So there's a bit of a bid happening over the last few days because of that on the Aussie pairs. So we're a little bit higher up. Now, if we keep moving up, you want to be watching as resistance 97.66, 98.58, which is this area just there. We could be just bouncing, coming back to resistance to further sell. That's your weekly. So the weekly is positive at the moment, rejecting that 79% level. And the daily, last 2 days are all closing positive. And we are positive for the day. So can't do the same play as, well, we could still do the same play. Does this come back down to the 79% level once more? I want to hold. That would be a play that I would look for over the next few days. So that level's at 91.04. At the moment, we could just be covering some of those shorts. Doesn't mean to say that we can cover all the way back up the range. If we come back up to 97.66 or 98.58, these could be resistance to then have another leg down. All right. Intraday at the moment, I am noticing, as I was just saying, that 96. So let's go back to the 4-hour chart. Once we came up here, we have traded down, bounced, and now struggling at 96. So when you move to the 50-minute chart, so we've moved down to here and then bounced. And that was a 62% level. There it is. And then we've drifted down. And you can see we moved below 96. So let me draw it in. Resistance at 96. Resistance at 96. So does beg the question, if we come back up to 96 here, will it hold once more to move downwards? All right, so it's getting up to getting close to 96 right now. So it's worth watching 96 here. If we reject here, can you see maybe a tight trend line break to get short? If we break 96, does 96 then become support to trade up to 97? Okay. All right, so look at the Aussie to the daily. So last week when we were, let's just get rid of that fib. When we were in this area I was discussing, so last week when we were putting in all these wicks, I said watch to see if we will come up to test 65.75. That's a weekly low that got broken. Would that be resistance? That would be a good level to sell to trade down to here. Now, we didn't actually test that level before getting down to there. But once we've hit that level, so that's weekly resistance, weekly support. If you go to the weekly chart, weekly broken support to be resistance and weekly support. So this week we've traded down to support and we're back up to resistance. So I actually discussed that yesterday in yesterday's webinar, in which we're talking about the 100 pip trade entry. So you could have traded up there at 65.75. Well, you know you couldn't because you went to 65.74.1. But if you're watching up there, you could have clicked in with a 100 pip stop. Had a very close. And you would have almost seen 100 pips on the move down. Now the question is today, we're coming back up, testing all these wiki highs, which are on the 4-hour chart, all these 4-hour tops. So we traded above all those tops. So there would have been stops above these levels, taking price up to weekly resistance. And the question I want to ask you now is, have we now rallied back up to 79% level? $79. Are we starting to turn over to move back down, and are we going to come back down to retest down there? All right, to the 15. We're just having a small 79% retracement on the 15-minute chart right now. See it there? So whilst we have the big 79% level here, or the bigger one, and we just traded back to that exact same level, we've traded down, smaller 79% level. Are we now going to see price action today, be moving down? And when the US job claims come out, we could break all this structure we're forming at the moment and come up to test 65.75. Whether we will or whether we won't, I don't know, but it's a possibility. So that would be a great level to watch later in the day, 65.75, because we couldn't quite get there yesterday by a pip. So that level is quite clearly being watched by the sellers because it didn't get there by a pip. It's not a coincidence. All right, so that's true resistance up here at the moment being watched. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to get short now, or do you want to wait to see whether the price gets driven up to this level later in the day? Okay, New Zealand dollar. Oh, I'm sorry, New Zealand yen. What's that Aussie yen doing? Aussie yen is just starting to reject 96. All right, New Zealand yen. So New Zealand yen today, go to your monthly chart. There's a monthly high here. Yes, the monthly structure is still up. Like all the other yen pairs, a 79% retracement. So will we come down to retest that 79% level again, like I was saying on the other yen pairs, and then maybe hold to move back up? At the moment, from the downside perspective, this high 88.16 has been tested to be resistance today. So you can see today's candle went above it yesterday, but today we just tested it to hold. So that's a bit of an indication that we maybe want to move lower. We came up as well to last month's low. So we broke last month's low, dropped through, came back to that level to hold, and then that monthly high has been resistance today. You can see it here on the 15, right there. So bit of volatility, maybe from the news later in the day. We could still come, I would watch 8,800 to that monthly high, 88.16. If we come back up there, that would be my sell area. Now, I might not get there. We may have, you may have already missed it. It gave you two opportunities over here. It actually gave you a little 79% retracement here. So it hit the level, fell. All right. 79% retracement. Sell. Stop above here. Now we know we can't go back in time, but price may revisit that level and then look for the same kind of price action to reject, rally, move back down. Okay. Or like I was, going through the 100 pip trade entry yesterday, get short as close as you can to 88.16 with a 100 pip stop. And take a positional play for a move back down at the moment to the 79% level. If you were to do that, there's 362 pips to that level if we're going to come back down to retest it from where we are at the moment. Good risk reward. Even, it's even better risk reward if you can get a tighter entry. New Zealand dollar looks like it's holding at the 0.600 level, or the 6000 level, I should say. So day chart. Most people would think we're going up here at the moment because of this rejection at the bottom. Maybe we are. I'm still focusing on this double top up here. Are we going to see a clear break of this area at some point? If we can get continued negativity, maybe we could. This range here is from the weekly chart. So we have a lower top to a lower bottom. Yes, we're coming back up, but we've been up almost to the 62% level. It's a little bit short here. Now, if we could get higher, I would look at this area for a sell area. 62 level, 60.36 to 60.47. We may have already topped. But that would be area to watch if we could get higher. 4-hour chart starting to put a lower top in here. And we've just tagged the high of this 4-hour candle that we're trading in at the moment has just tagged the 6000 level here. All right, so you can see it starting to break down on the 15, lower top. That was a high bottom, at lower top, lower bottom, tagged 6000 again. Might offer another opportunity to get short at 6000. Like a 100 pip trade entry I was discussing last night. Selling at 6000, you put your stop at 6100. 6100 is here. So if you could still get short at 60, all right, even if then it does come up to 62% retracement and weekly resistance up here, or daily resistance up here, it would have to break this area for you to be wrong. All right, so you could be selling here, looking to target this low over here, which I think is last year's low, and the risk reward would be over 1 to 2 from here down to there, putting your stop at 100 pips above. All right, so if price was to come up, yes, you'd have to watch it. But if it did come up, I'm in 2 frames of mind at the moment. Is it holding at the 1600 level to now move down, or will it get up to here? So, you could sell here, stop above there, and, that could happen and you'd still be right. All right. Dollar Canadian. Now we do have the job figures from the Canadian tomorrow. On the weekly chart, we have traded above all these tops here at the moment, except for this one up here. I should put a line in there now, as soon as we've hit all the other ones. 139.77. Now, whilst we're trading down, the weekly trend's turned to up, moving up in there, and Canadian side's been cutting interest rates. So over the long term, are we going to see maybe a higher bottom form here on the weekly chart to further move up? So at the moment, the day trend is up. Sorry, is down because we've broken this support area, but it's just a pullback on the weekly. And yesterday and today, we're testing the 62 level. You can see we're holding at the 62 area. So actually putting a higher bottom right now on the 4 hour. So it's kind of giving us a trigger right now, breaking above that candlestick high. Really, the trigger is here, giving you a higher bottom at the 62 level on the 4 hour. You could put your stop below here, and you could be now holding it to see if we can trade all the way back up. Okay, simple as that. All right, don't need to go to any lower time frame, but we can have a look at 15. 15 is showing you an uptrend now on the 15. I don't want to buy into 137.55, but if you bought right now, once it hit there, if you're concerned about this not moving through, you could get your stop to break even real quick. But personally, I would have my stop below here and just allow the market to do its thing. And will it move through there today to move back up the range? All right. Dollar franc, weekly chart, getting some support down here. You see we've been below it or above it at the moment. I know the weekly candle won't close till the end of the week, so we could still be back below, but that area is offering some support at the moment. Maybe just support to bounce back up to the previous level before moving lower. Weekly trend there is quite clearly down. Daily trend is down. I wouldn't want to sell into this area. I'd be a lot happier, just from a setup perspective, looking for things all to be kind of all my tools lining up. From a trade setup perspective, got a 62 level here, 87.05, and resistance at 87.29. That would be an area I'd love to see price move to. That would be a good sell area. It's not in a great sell area right now because it's almost back on top of weekly support. So whilst I know where the weekly trend is down, the day trend is down, I don't want to sell into there. So I would need to be able to at least be a seller from higher up, which at the moment, your opportunity was maybe this movement back up here to retest 86, because 86 is starting to be intraday resistance here. It was support fractionally above here. Then we move below. It's been starting to become resistance through here. So at least if you sell at 86, if you have the opportunity to sell a rally once more into that area, you've got 48 pips of room to manage your trade. At the moment, if you wanted to sell right now, you've only got, 23 pips. That would be the better option. Okay, so just from an intraday perspective at the moment, if we have topped out up there the day before, 86 is a good level to look to try to short from if it revisits. All right, dollar yen. So this is a weekly low. This is my day chart, but we've still holding just underneath that weekly area. So 146.47. You can see we did close above yesterday, but we're back below. So you could certainly look for a short down from 146.47 if it retests today, intraday. I would like on the other yen pairs, you can see we're wanting to get back above the 79% level at the moment. So if we came back down to the 79, does that 79% level hold at 144.89 to move back up? 4 hour. See how we came up and held here? Looks to me like we tried to break above. So we held, broke above, moved back below. And now, see, we were rejected on that candle. This candle here is rejecting at the moment. So I know we've got the US news coming out later. And just at the moment, while we wait for news, the market is telling you that 146.47, which is a weekly support low. And last week's low was fractionally below there. That little area there is telling you where the sellers are right now. So that is the sell zone right there. Of course, we might pop back above there when the US news gets delivered. But at the moment, we still have almost 3 hours to go for the US news. If it came back up to that level, or close to, and it's still got a couple of hours to go, maybe it can move down for 2 hours and you can get away from 146.47 ahead of the news. All right, so that is a sell level at the moment. But I was saying on the day chart, if we do come down, back down to the 79% level and once more hold, this could well be the buying level to see a rally back up the range. All right, let's finish on gold. All right, so not much happening on gold since I did on Tuesday, but I did say on Tuesday, this is my 4-hour chart. Let me just take that off for a moment. Said the trend is up on the daily. There's your daily range. We came back below the 79. Well, came back below, back below the 79, but then started to hold here on the 79. And then what I said was, on the 4-hour chart, there was this range. Draw a fib. And I said, look at these two 79% levels. And price has been getting support in that area. So that is the area for the buyers at the moment to align themselves in line with the trend. Down at 23.79 to 23.75. Now we might not revisit there, but at the moment it is rather sideways there. So this may come back down into this area once more. But the day chart, 79% levels here. All right, where we've been getting support. We haven't come down to the 4-hour level, which is here. So the primary level support in the market is the 79% level from the day charts. Low to high. So that would be the primary level to watch at the moment. 2379.7 for support. If we once more come down, look for that to be support. And are we going to see another run this way? All right, that's my thoughts on gold. All right, so it's a little difficult at the moment, of course, with the volatility that we've been seeing, as the market is maybe just on the instruments that have been heavily trending down with the stock market, like the yen pairs. Have they put the brakes on at the moment, or are we just having a breather before more downturns? It is quite difficult to maybe ascertain at the moment. I've been fortunate. I got short on a couple of things. Well, I got short the Eurodollar this week up at 110.01, which was great because right now in the mess on the 50-minute chart that it's been doing over the last day or two, even though it's trending down now, I don't have to worry about getting short because I'm short from higher up. At the moment, now that we're moving down here on the euro dollar, this may offer a rally back up. There's the last 15-minute swing point of significance. Drag the fib down and look for a rally within that range. Now that's kicking off to the downside, breaking out of this range that it was in. So is the pound moving down? It's made a fresh low for the move. So hopefully somebody got short up here in this 2700 area today. It has been rather difficult over the last day and a half on the pound. But again, as I said, I got short up here, so I haven't been too worried about trying to get in because I'm already in. I just want it to keep breaking down rather than maybe put a bottom in. So the only thing I'm looking out for is the market putting a bottom in, and I'll have to get out. All right, I'm going to leave my analysis there. Thanks, everybody. Just, I haven't discussed it, but if you go to these yen pairs, any yen pair, let's go to the Aussie yen. Ranges are very large. We've already done a range today of 155 pips, and the day hasn't finished. Yesterday's range of trading was somewhere in the vicinity of 300 pips. Doesn't look like 300 pips when you're looking on a 15-minute chart, but the ranges are very large on the yen pairs at the moment, and if they're too volatile and too large, you can just wait until they, the volatility subsides a bit. All right, so flying at 96 once more. Somebody wants me to look at oil towel. Oil, I don't look at oil too closely. Kind of at support at the moment, aren't we? Lots of support down here. 72,437. The only thing I would say, price is going down. Why would it be going down? The thing that would come to mind is, let's say things are getting really bad in the US. I don't know if they're really getting bad in the US, but let's say we have the next GFC, companies are going broke. People are saying, oh, the stock market's going to go down. It's going to be the next GFC. I don't know, if it's too early to tell. I'm not getting that excited about that whole story at the moment. But if we're at the starting point and then companies are struggling and maybe they use oil in their manufacturing, or even the fact that they, use trucks to move their goods around the country, and they're doing less of that because the economy is slowing, then the demand, you would think, for oil would be less. Okay. So that would lead to a lower price in oil, wouldn't it? Now, I can see why we're going down just from that kind of analogy. But we're on support here on oil. From a technical perspective, we're at support here where we've been getting support. And you can see a nice rejection down here. And see that day held, rejected, we closed at that level. We rejected and moved back above. Really, if we come back down and hold once more at 72.43, we'd probably have to think we're going to move back up the range. 4-hour chart has put in a higher bottom. You could be looking at maybe, I know there's a low here, but the biggest swing was here. 79% level overlaps with that level at 72.43. So there's support. So if price was to come down, back down to this level again today, that's where the buyers are buying, isn't it? That's your buy level. If you're assuming that support for price to go up. Is that what you're thinking, Tal? That we're at support and we're going to move back up? Or you think we're going to break? All right. So at the moment, you're thinking maybe we're at support. Yeah, I mean, price action is it's giving you, it's at least starting to maybe want to prove that support's coming in. Now, of course, at any given time, support can withdraw. So, of course, we have a strategy that we're trying to trade. We have our stop in place, and we never know whether we're going to be right or wrong until the trade runs out. But, you know, even if you waited till the end of the week, if you got a positive candle here at the end of the week, you could maybe say we're going to be trading back up to 83.93, and we're just in a range. So, yeah, it is. It all depends on how you want to get in. To me, that would look like a very nice way of getting in down there. And then, you know, manage the risk on the trade as you set it up, and support's either going to hold or it's not. But it is looking like maybe support's coming in there at the moment. All right. Thanks, Tal. All right, everybody, I'll wrap it up there. If you want to join me next week, head over to the webinar page. There's a link at the top. More analysis from me next Tuesday. Education on Tuesday for me next week is here, the 13th. I'm going to go through liquidity in market education on Wednesday and more analysis on the 15th. All right, so if you want to join me, just come over to the webpage and register your interest, and I'll see you all next week. Other than that, be careful in the market. It's still very volatile. Maybe lessen the risk a little in these volatile times. All right, so be safe. Look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, everybody.